set up. So yeah, I will be talking about a journey to take a certification to become a associate cloud engineer. So yeah, we're looking in real life experience how to become a cloud engineer, and also some ethics to be following anytime you are thinking of becoming a cloud engineer. So yeah, for today's course, we are going to talk about introduction. For the 6 weeks, we are going to talk about the setting up a cloud solution environment. Today, it will be a typical introduction of associate cloud engineer. We are talking about planning. On the second week, we are going to talk about planning and configuration a cloud solution. Third week, we are going to talk about deploying cloud solution. And fourth week, going to talk about ensuring successful operation of a cloud solution. Fifth week, we are going to talk about configuration, configuring access and security. And next steps, which is week 6, we are going to discuss the tips and logic we are going to take whenever we are taking a certification exam. So for this discussion, what is the role of associate cloud engineer? So before I move in, I will try to explain what is cloud engineer is all about. The second is talking about resource to support your certification journey, and the third is how you can create your study plan. So first, what is the associate cloud engineer? This is the basic definition given by Google an as a cloud associate cloud engineer. You are expected to secure application and infrastructure, monitor operation of multiple projects, maintain enterprise solution, ensure that they meet the target performance metrics, and this individual has experience working with public cloud on-premises solution, and they are able to work on Google Cloud Console, and they can able to use the terminal CLI command line interface to perform common platform basic tasks to maintain and scale one or more deployed solution which Google manage or self-service on Google Cloud. So a lot of people will be asking, so what is cloud in the first place? So let me start with the introduction about cloud. So cloud basically for olden days, we have a situation whereby anytime you want to deploy, you buy hosting um, from Google, GoDaddy platform, Namecheap, domain name, you buy a host and you set your UCC panel to set up structure. But these days have a platform whereby like Google, which is a public cloud platform, we have AWS, we have Amazon, we have Azure. So as a cloud engineer, you are expected to be able to work on these different platforms. So you are not expected to limit yourself to only Google Cloud uh, platform alone. So as an associate cloud engineer, you are expected to deploy. So let's say, for instance, you are working with a developers, set of developers. You can be their DevOps or data engineer. Your role as a cloud engineer, you are able to manage it. So we have core 5 basic of cloud platform. We have compute engine. So engine is the backbone of the infrastructure, whereby you can set up for your web server, you can set up for your infrastructure like an app. So virtual machine is basically one platform. So and the difference between using Google AWS is just the like, for instance, Google call its product compute engine, whereby AWS call it EC2. So, but they still follow the same rules. They follow the same guide. So also we have the monitoring. So monitoring is very important because this is what is about what is happening in your infrastructure. So let's assume you are a cloud engineer. We are helping a set of developers to deploy a backend or a API. So you have to set up a metric to track what is going on, and whenever they run into an error, you can need to give a report. Another part of core infrastructure database. So let's say, for instance, you are trying to deploy a maybe you are using MySQL, or you are using Postgre, you are using any form of database, MongoDB, NoSQL. You can use Google Cloud or a cloud platform to deploy this. So this another tools you can use, a core pillar of cloud. Another part is the storage. So storage is where you upload your music, files, form of file, you upload it on your cloud platform, your storage platform. So as I've said earlier, there is just a difference in branding. In Google, we call it bucket. Sorry, in Google, we call it bucket. In AWS, we call it S3. So as a cloud engineer, you're supposed to have the idea of how you're able to operate on different platforms. The recent one we have with access identity, IAM, identity access management. So on cloud, you are as a cloud engineer, you are expected to give minimum access to your users. So this give protect for security wise, this protect the platform. Also, as a cloud engineer, you are expected to make sure the networking and security. So here we make mention of on-premise solution. A platform may decide that okay, we have our internet server, we have our server, and we want to migrate to the cloud like AWS or Google. Cloud engineer, you have to meet up with the business requirements. So business requirements are basic requirements for the business, and we have technical requirements. Technical requirements are the technicality, maybe the local storage. You are checking they are using hard drive to store their data and create the data to the cloud. So you have to choose the based on the condition of the premises solution to the cloud. So yeah, we're going to talk about, so that's the role of a associate cloud engineer. Another thing is the billing. So it's very important whenever you are working with different platforms, especially a startup. So because billing cost of infrastructure really matters, make sure you do the estimate of your infrastructure before you go into deployment. So yeah, we have this for the whole scenario. We are going to be using Google give us like a sample use case we'll be using to refer on how we can handle our infrastructure. So this platform we call it Simba Superstore. What Superstore do is digital transformation and established national retailers selling groceries, beauty, health products as well as clothing. So this platform is more of like an e-commerce selling accessories, selling groceries, beauty, health products. So for our presentation, for us this week, we are going to be using them as a use case, and in the future, we are going to be meeting another use case. So you have to imagine yourself as person like working for for a startup or for a business organization, whereby you are given a scenario. Your scenario may be different. You may be given a role as a fintech. You'll be given a role as a banking sector, or like delivery platform. So depends or health sector. So moving forward, so this what they are doing on this Simba Superstore. They have e-commerce. So this is they have different department, different products. They have e-commerce. They have transportation. They have supply. And here we have migrate application to Google Cloud. So we want to have they have their existing business, and they want to migrate to the cloud. So for e-commerce, we have Simba Superstore and exist web application that provide an interface for customer to look at and order products. So this is the web application that's used for the customer for ordering a product. And we have transportation management. So transportation management deliver services is becoming important aspect of Simba Superstore customer interaction. Simple Superstore would love to use Google Surface to keep track of the truck location. This is more of like a logistics. So they want to migrate to the Google Cloud. And the third one says supply chain, whereby Simba Superstore had decided to migrate their legacy supply chain application to the cloud. So here, as a cloud associate cloud engineer, you are expected to handle this migrate to the cloud infrastructure. So yeah, for moving forward, before we move forward, Google is talking about why do you need a certification. So a nice thing about this is that after you're able to understand the basic about Google certification, uh, that way you are expected to take a certification exam. And the benefit of taking this certification exam is gain industrial recognition. So let's say I'm introducing myself. I am a certified Google Cloud engineer. So I have to be telling you, I can do this, I can do that. But because of my certification, you can easily recognize me as a associate cloud engineer. So it's industrial recognition. Recognition. We have validate your technical expert. Before you can able to get certification, you have to take some examination, you have to take some tests, you have to do some practice before you can say, okay, I'm expert. So this validates your technical expert if you are getting the certificate, if you are certified as a Google Associate Cloud Engineer. So take your career to the next level. So if you check Google Cloud Platform, you will notice that we have like over 13 certification parts. We have DevOps, we have data engineer, we have data science, we have uh, data architect, we have um, um, cloud developer. So we have a lot of solutions like you can specialize on you can specialize on. So these are the benefits of taking becoming Google certified. So here we have, so this is the difference between associate and professional. So we are associates. After this course, we can decide to do a professional level associate. And what is the difference between associate and certification? So associate focus on data and customer implementation. So technical is, say for instance, I want to deploy a e-commerce platform, or I want to deploy a web app. Mine is to make sure that I was able to deploy, manage. So that is the my work as a technical. I have to make sure I meet up with their technical requirements and able to make sure that the customer implementation meet with satisfaction. So this is where you will spend your time as an associate cloud engineer. But as a professional, you have to consider business requirements. Although most of the time in an organization, you are expected to work with a professional as an associate. So you can have an architect, you can able to work with architect. The architect can give you the business requirements and list the technical requirements. Yours is just to focus on these two. So the difference here is the business requirement, whereby you have to plan, design, plan, ensure the feasibility, optimize. So this process is for professionals, but as associate to, you have to understand how you can able to communicate this idea from business part to technical part and able to build, deploy, and manage. So, but for now, let us focus on technical requirements and implementation. So, after you get the certifications, I'm going to, after by end of my presentation, I'm going to how you can able to do this. Go through your exam guide. So, exam guide is the code the Google give out for this as certification, scoring, how you can able to plan uh, your curriculum, your exam parts, the process on how you are going to register your exam. I'm going to show you. So, and after you're able to get the certification, you get something like a badge, so that you are able to pass the exam, and you are going to be given a certificate. Moving forward, so these are the resources. So yeah, for mine, when I was taking the exam, I made sure I follow some process, which is time to time. There is a platform, we call it Google Skill. You can able to take some labs. You are expected to take some labs. You are expected to take some documentation. You are expected to take some video tutorial to able to understand how you can become a associate um, cloud engineer. So on day one, you have to learn fundamental and core infrastructure. We are going to be talking about. Uh, from day one to day three, so it's going to take like 48 hours. This you are going to talk about architecting with Google Cloud Compute Engine. So Compute Engine for people that are new with Google Cloud, it's more of like a virtual machine whereby you can able to deploy your application. And we have different type of varieties of GCP. We have one with memory optimization. We have one with uh, memory optimization, graphics optimization. We have one for general based on. So as a cloud engineer, as an associate cloud engineer, you have to pick the best infrastructure for your users or for your customers. So this is what we are going to be talking about: infrastructure, cloud services, scalability, and optimization. So this is going to talk about how you are going to be working with your basic thing. Is working on Google. So we have Kubernetes engine, JKE. Kubernetes is a standalone solution for deployment, but here we have JKE, whereby Google designed Kubernetes, whereby you can able to Google infrastructure can able help you to manage on its own. And we have a logging monitoring observability in Google Cloud. So this it's really important because this will really give you the performance of your infrastructure you are managing, your any information threshold, CPU, anything you are managing. You can able to see how they are operating on your own side. And there's a lot of tools Google provide for you that you can use. And the last one is going to talk about the Terraform, how you can be using Terraform to deploy on Google Cloud, and some advanced, which is part of this fundamental core infrastructure, is how you can able to use Google Cloud GCLI. So GCLI is more of like a using terminal to deploy. So we have different interface whenever you are deploying. So we are going to get that to this 6 weeks course. So yeah, you are expected to get some courses and skill badges. So here we have implementation, loading, balancing on Compute Engine, which is 4 hours. So there is some courses you are expected to be done. So we have the second option, app setup and app development environment on Google. So this is where you deploy your application. So depending on the type of application you are deploying, it depends on the framework. If you can choose Cloud Run. Cloud Run is a serverless platform whereby you don't have to worry about the coding. You don't have to worry about the infrastructure coding. So it depends on the use case. So we have for the develop your Google Cloud network. So this is very sensitive. Let's uh, just this talks about how you can able to communicate within on-premises infrastructure to Google Cloud, or from Google Cloud project to another Google Cloud project. So this really focus on Google Cloud Network. So at times you blacklist some IP, you whitelist, you enable a lot of access to application. So this really deal with network. Build infrastructure with Terraform on Google Cloud. So this really focus on how you can use your infrastructure, Terraform, to deploy on Google Cloud. So yeah, we are not going to be discussing much about this. So I would like to share you some. I would like to before I go for this. So let me go back here to share you the course. Clearly, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So yeah, with this link, let me share you the link so that you can able to you want to check it out. Okay. So here we have this is the link for the certification. So Google will be trying to check your skill set, see if you can able to ability to access Google access you on this basic how to set up your cloud environment, how to ensure that your success operation of the Google Cloud solution, plan and implement a cloud solution, configure access security. So with one best thing or one important thing about infrastructure is as a cloud engineer is access and security. You have to make sure you are protect your user, your project, infrastructure. So here we have about the certification. So type of ways if you are doing it for the first time, you are going for standard exam information. But if you are renewed, so okay, so this certificate valid for certain period of time. For the Google Cloud, associate Google Cloud, we have 3 years. So they expect to do this certification pass this for 3 years. After 3 years, you are expected to take your renew, which is going to take like 3 hours. So we have the exam guide, which we are going to be checking soon. So the registration fee is $125, and we have these are the supported language: English, Japanese, Spanish, Portuguese, and which is 50 to 60 question, multiple choice or multiple select choice. And we have two different type of exam delivery method. We have online and on-site. So online is where you just set up your exam and take it in your house or in your convenient location. And we have on-site whereby you have to go to a Google Partner Exam Center and you take the exam. And the pre is not some professional certification may require for you to take this associate cloud engineer first before you proceed to take this. And your recommendation experience, you have to make sure you have hands-on lab minimum of 6 months. But if you are, I know most of you smart, if you are too smart, you can take it before 6 months. But this is advisable time to take the exam. And also we have the renewal fee is $75 if you are renewing, and we have 20 questions instead of 60. And also we have online and on-site. So these are the uh, type different way you take the exam and prepare for your examination. So these are the advice. So expect to work, lay your hand on real lab experience environment. So use different tools to do that. And you expect to be working to be your tutorial, your practice to be in line with exam standard guide. So this is going to give you more insight on what to focus on, the marking skills, the marking, the score range, and also round out skill with training. So there are courses prepared for you on Google. So the Google is preparing, so there is a course that is dedicated for this. So this is a course, this link, let me share. So yeah, we have it here. So this give you the access so you can able to see these are the courses you expect to work with. So this 45 minutes, 6 hours. So by the time you are done with this, I'm very sure you have here what is associate cloud is all about or what is cloud engineering is all about. And before I go down there, we have exam readiness whereby Google provide you a place so you can still go to the course. So this give you a link to take a associate cloud engineer. So this is going to talk about the benefits, some documentation you expect to read about, some use case. See, earlier we talked about simple super stuff. So the question looks we ask you, we give you a scenario, and they expect you as a cloud engineer to response. So back we have reviewed sample question. So sample question is Google have like it's 20 to 30 question. Yeah, okay. We have 20 question whereby after you practice before you take the exam, you are expect to uh, fill this form and just fill this form, just proceed to take. So let me just do something. Let me how it looks like. So, so this give you like a preparation idea of about the exam. Okay, it is uh, customer. So this is something like this is how the exam is going to look like, and you are expected to pick one of the option and just click next, next, random until you are done with your 60 questions. So we have, you can see we have system multiple choice you can able to pick. So, and lastly, you have to schedule your exam. So to schedule your exam, you just click based on your choice. If you want to do it online or you want to go to physical on site to do the exam. So you just register for your exam and you complete the process. Requirements, you have to make sure you meet up with the requirements. So these are the requirements, hardware requirements. They expect you to bring some credentials before start taking the exam. So going back, so okay, so let us go back. We have talked about doing a sample question, and we have this. This is very important if you are taking the certification exam. So this we have these are the basic course they are going to be asking you. So and this take 23% of this your exam. So if you are before you can able to pass, I think the pass score is 75 mark, 75 percentage. So this you are expected to take this 23%. So this 23% focus on how you are going to set up your infrastructure, project cloud, set up cloud project and accounts. So how you are going to manage your billings. So this part on our coming weeks, we are going to be focusing this time to time on each infrastructure, how you can go at it and the best option. So the second section is planning and implementation of cloud solution, which is 30% of your exam. We talked about your infrastructure, JKE, cloud, the scenario you are to pick any of these. So we are going to talk about data solution. So the why you are going to pick your SQL BigQuery. So all these resources you are going to be given a scenario to pick one of them. So choose and deploy data product. So storage, so we are going to talk about cloud storage and this best to save costs. So another skill of where do people basically are hiring you as a cloud engineer is how to save them costs apart from security. So this you have to put it in place. So the third one is 27, which is 27% of this exam, which is ensuring success. So to make sure that your platform well, you have to make sure you manage the compute resources. You have to choose as minimum as possible for your infrastructure. So depending on the use case, you have to set it up accordingly. So we are going to be discussing this in our coming meets. So also we have configure access and security, which is 20% of it. So this is going to talk about IAM. If you have developer in in your project to set up account for them. If you don't trust someone, how you are going to set the infrastructure to make sure your and that is all. So what is first step? If you see this 20% plus 27 plus 30 plus 23, almost 100. So 100, so you expect to get 70%. So when I'm doing this certification, when I was doing my certification, is I will make sure that before I take a course from setting up cloud environment, make sure that I'm focusing on the topic and I can able the key point of it. And this will really help you as a learner, as a beginner, to make sure you are getting the key point of it, because most of the questions will be coming from this exam guide. So going back, so these are the basic expect to do. So we have exam guide, we have sample question we used to be doing practice, Although we have other platform too that you can use to practice, which is exam topic. So this is a public platform and it is free, although you can subscribe, but it is free. You can use it to practice. So they have over 336 questions. You can just use it to practice. And this is really good to have more idea about what to do. So going back to my PowerPoint, so these are the resources. I've been able to share some resources with you, but if you have this, you can have access to others. And moving forward, so you can see here we have, if you click on this link, oh, sorry, okay, let me copy this. Okay, so if you get this, you can able to get the basic idea of it. Coming back, okay, so here we have to So, okay. So these are the sample question, but I don't know, maybe we can able to do this right now, but I feel like at the end of the day, we can able to discuss about some sample question. And so also, this we can ignore it for now because we didn't talk about IAM or any big query access. So I don't want to complicate things. Maybe by fourth week or fifth week, we can able to address this. So we have documentation. Documentation is very important because it gives the information that you can find in your presentation, that you can find in your uh, exam sample question, you can find it in your documentation. This documentation gives more details about technical, the reasons why you have to pick the right question, right answer in your question. So here we have most of the time the documentation contains some information you can't find in your videos or your labs. So that's the nice thing about your documentation. And also, let's say for instance you are doing a real life project and you want to deploy, and you are expected to go through the documentation to be able to get the solution. So to create your study plan, you are given different scenario. So I have to go through this the uh, a skill guide, skill Google part whereby you can able to get your course and you can able to watch it. So for the first how many of us are familiar with Google Skill Boost before? How many of us just signify if you are familiar with Google Skill Boost? Okay. So someone say yes. So I believe everyone are familiar with it. But if you are a first time user, it's straightforward and easy to do. So you can able to just user you can. So if you click on join, you can able to join the platform or can sign in if you have an account. Just able to access your lab. So the lab. Okay, so let me go in. So the different lab. So the lab is where you are beginning scenario, you give a virtual account as a student to for practice, and this really help you to do a real life um, lab environment. It helps you to be able to practice like you are working on a real life project. So you'll be given a task, be given a task, giving it will give you like basic information about what you are trying to do, and you'll be given a task. So these tasks will help you like to guide you on what to do. You can see there's a step-by-step action. So and you can see here you have a countdown. So countdown is the amount of time you are expected to spend. So we have 45 minutes, 00 seconds. So this lab is expected to be completed by before 45 minutes. And we have different tasks. So we have end time. So here you can see we have like a check it. So this is called lab score. So if you are able to achieve your goal, grant, which is based on the task. So this this alone give the task. So if you are able to achieve the task, you can able to click on this and this. So these labs, check my progress, will able to give you your score. So if you're able to join them to show that you are successful. So let me sign in because I have an account already. Um, so okay, so I've successfully signed in, and this then value the button can able to show like I can start a lab, I can able to see different instructions. So what I would advise you if you are first time users or you are just starting, I will go through this so able to read about this. There's a videos. So most of these are just introduction and just go through it before you start clicking on the start lab. So and also you can able to see this. If I click on start lab, it's going to give me. So let us do for example, we are not going to spend. So this is expected to be done by 20 minutes and there's no cost. So if you want to try this, you can do that at leisure time. So you can try this at your own leisure time. So let's assume I'm starting my labs just for the sake of presentation. You are clicking your start labs. You can say yeah, Google generates me uh, virtual username and password, and you can say the time start counting down, and I can able to see the lab here. So there are this instruction was a tour of cloud apps on lab. So if you are a first time user, you can use. So some ethics you are expected to do in order to save yourself some a professional way you can go about it is. So it's this my own personal experience. This happened when I get started with Google Lab. So unknowing that when I was doing my lab, I'm using my personal apps. So all of a sudden, after I finished the lab, I was unable to complete my lab. That's the first issue. The second issue, after 2 days, I was charged which amount of money on my Google Cloud. So I advise you if you are doing something, you can just right click, choose a private window, choose a private window. So it will not be you will not be using your personal account to do the setup. So I can just copy the username, copy my username, and come back here, copy the password. Okay. So this prevents me from mistakenly using my personal Google Cloud for my labs. So I understand. So these are the process, and I can able to read. I can able to read. There's a screenshot of it. So this will really help. So after let me check successfully log in. So yeah, so I can just be reading the instruction and I will be following up. So this is the better way you can able to handle your lab without incurring any charges on your account. So I think this is a safe zone. So because I'm using my private account, so after I'm done, I can just close my window and log out, right? So that's the benefit of using private environment to do your lab. So we have here so I can just end my lab because I'm just trying to show. So I just end my lab, nothing more. And you can able to do your reports if you're having any technical, you can able to report and just submit. So if you're having an issue, let's say whenever you are doing your labs, you can able to create like help center, send an email support. There's a real-time customer support. You can able to chat them up whenever you have a technical issue, or use this Discord platform to screenshots. Who can able to help you through this section. So and the last, okay, before I leave here, there's another of this using Google Class Kit. Even though you are not able to get a certification exam, you can see we have If you after you sign up, you can have a settings. You have oops, we have a dashboard. Sorry, we have a dashboard. So dashboard, we discuss about your progress. So we have a strike. So able to do something today, it will mark me like currently I don't have any current strike, but if you are doing it continuously, which really helps. So within 6 months, within 6 weeks, if you are doing it consistently, you can profile and you can say this is my badge. So you can able to view your badge. You can able to view your badge people. So you can have a public profile link whereby you can able to share with people. So this boosts your visibility in your journey. So you can share it on LinkedIn, you can share it on social media platform. So these are the benefits. And you have a profile. I think there's a profile, public profile. Okay, yeah, this is a public profile. So public profile is share it on your project so people can able to recognize your achievement. So these are the things you can able to do before you get your certification exam. So yeah, that is it. Thank you. I don't know if you have a question. Okay.
No, we haven't questions, so I can stop recording.
Okay.
Biggest thanks for your time today. This session was recorded, and